I remember before we got married, we'd had a bunch of different conversations about how do you want to live your life and what kind of house do you want to be in. Landenberg is way down in the southeast corner of Pennsylvania, and the motto is Landenberg, you can't get there from here, which I think is great.
Everything is a back road. I don't have to take a highway to get to work, but everything takes about 20 minutes to get to, at least. More deer than cars sometimes, but it's beautiful. And we were driving down this road and we saw a yellow house, and I really like yellow houses.
It was kind of a joke for us that we stopped and looked at yellow houses that were for sale.
And I said, oh, it's yellow. And then we realized it was a church. We stopped and we turned around and we pulled into the driveway. We immediately texted our realtor and said, I think we want this house. And she thought
like,
we were insane.
What? It's not as if we went out and said, we want to renovate an old church. But then I think as soon as we saw it, I knew pretty much right away this is exactly where I wanted to be. I think it was the potential to create something new and beautiful and different and funky and weird. You had this thing that was beautiful and loved before, and then it's gone into its cocoon stage. Now it's emerging as this new being that I think is incredibly beautiful.
At the end of this project, I still want it to feel like the church. I still want to get that feeling that I got when we first walked into the church. I just want to feel like we're home.
I'm Angus.
And I'm Esther.
And we're about to turn an 1893 Catholic church into our family home. I like the story that old buildings have to tell if you can figure out how to listen to it. The church is the former St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church that was built in 1893. It stopped being a church in the early 60s. It's the house that Lindsay, the woman who we bought it from, grew up in. It was important to Lindsay and her family that it went to another family that wanted to use it for their family. I think this is the side where you look at it and you're like, oh, it's big. If you're coming in the north side of the main doors where everybody, when they were coming to Sunday service, would have come, you walk into a small sort of dark foyer. It's gonna look very true to the original foyer. We're gonna make it darker. It's gonna be purple, aubergine.
This is going to be a much warmer space, I think, when we're done with it.
Aubergine is a bold choice.
Yeah.
The tiles, I think it's like a 4x4 inset, and those have the aubergine reflected in the glass lamp.
And some slate.
And the gray slate surrounding it, right?
I think the main sanctuary space will look largely the same.
As you walk out under the choir loft, it opens up into this large space that is 60 by 30. The altar area is slightly raised. It has 2 steps that go up with 2 sacristies on either side. And then you can go up the stairs from the foyer into the choir loft, and there's a bedroom and a bathroom up there. And then you can go further up to the 3rd floor. There's this sort of cupola tower that was a 3rd bedroom.
This is going to be a really cool open space. But I think the way that we are thinking about partitioning things off and making different little spaces will be nice. In the middle, it will be divided up into kind of a little bit more of a living space with a TV and entertainment area a little bit tucked away behind like a half wall. And then a large dining space in the middle and a wood stove on the other side.
I worry that it's going to feel so open that there won't be cozy spaces, but I think particularly this side, when you have the catwalk.
The catwalk is going to be
all
amazing.
The way across. The catwalk runs almost the entire length of the east side on the 2nd floor of the church. It's going to be finished stained wood. We're going to do some sort of screen that you can see the light through, you can see the windows. And the stairs that go down the middle of the catwalk, you can just go from the bedroom or from the 3rd floor bedroom down directly into the kitchen.
And then the kitchen, my favorite spot.
We're going to have to do a little build out here because the coffee bar is going to come out over this bottom step. So if you're walking into the kitchen, you're going to walk up on this side or on that side.
The entire altar space will become the kitchen. On the central island, we've decided to go with a soapstone,
both for the island and also for the coffee bar. But on the island, we'll have a little cutout for your legs as you sit on some bar stools. The cooktop will be there, and everyone can kind of gather around that island.
So on top of the sacristy, that's becoming a mudroom, I guess that's my office. What they had originally were 2 sacristies that are on the altar that we're gonna put back so it looks like and feels like you're still in the church. I'm already thinking about how we take these windows out.
How are you going to take the windows
I don't know yet, but it's gotta happen. 22-foot high ceilings.
They're so cool.
Sure you don't want to keep them distressed?
If we paint it, it's all going to look so brand new. I feel like this is what people want it to look like when they add a fake patina to things.
The ceiling is obviously not new. It's not a replica. This is the original pressed tin ceiling.
Our bedroom will be on the choir loft. So that whole space will be the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet.
The bedroom is in what was the choir loft, but in order to fit the bedroom and the bathroom behind it, we needed a little bit more space. So we decided to do a cantilever out, which gives us about 5 more feet of space. It's got these huge windows looking out over the main area of the church, sort of like a crow's nest or something way up above that you can look down on the rest of the living space.
It feels separate, but still very connected to the rest of the space, and I like that.
These windows are getting replaced. They're gonna look like this, but they're gonna be new and much more efficient. I've never had a bedroom that had a bathroom attached to it. Makes me feel very grown up.
I think this is going to be a really great place to wake up in the morning.
The 3rd floor, there will be another bedroom up there, and we're planning on putting a bunk space up there for people to crash, for people to come and have a good time and stay the night if they needed to, or for people to come and bring their kids and all the kids could go upstairs and sleep in the bunk beds.
From where we are now, I think it's realistic to say that we can turn this into our home in the next 10 months. Crazy. I'm excited for it to be done, but I'm also just really excited for the whole process to
get started.
get underway.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we first came in, I remember feeling overwhelmed. I still had been recently dealing with my father's death, and the building and the space spoke to me as a place that would have made him really happy. And like, just really excited because he had always said that he wanted to help me build my first house. And I remember thinking about my father and thinking like, is this it? Is this the one we're gonna do?
He would have loved it.
Yeah, he would have really loved
He
it.
would have thought it was really cool.
Yeah. And he also left me all of his tools, which is this amazing bond that I feel like I have with him.
I was excited by the rest of the property as well. Not only was there this amazing church building, but there were all these other buildings that we could do something with.
The original plot that the church was on is really only about 3/4 of an acre. And then the previous owners in the 70s, when the sawmill came for sale, they bought that. On that parcel of land, there's also a duplex. There's a big storage barn that used to be where they put all their lumber. There's also a little greenhouse that I made for Esther from an old shed that was there before.
We did a lot of thinking about all of the things that we could do here. We could have people here, we could grow things here.
Something we both really like is entertaining people and having them come and be a part of our lives and share their lives with us.
It was really exciting for us to be able to tell friends, you can come and you can stay for as long as you want.
The house now looks like it's starting to get pulled apart. On the first floor, we've taken out all of the glass partitions that the previous owners built in the 70s, I think primarily so that he didn't have to heat the whole space.
Every once in a while, it feels like we've taken on a lot. We step back and we realize what we're doing, and it feels like a big, crazy thing. But it's really fun, and it's been really exciting, and we've been thinking about it and planning it for a really long time. I've never gotten the sense that we're doing something dumb yet.
I thought a couple times when I think we're doing something dumb. At the end of this project, I don't need it to feel grand. I want it to feel like a home, and I feel like it already does. Sometimes, actually, when I'm waiting for you to come home, I just look around and think, yeah, this is our home. It already feels like our home to me.
For the exterior of the church, all of the stained glass windows around the church will stay pretty much as they are. On the north side, we will be replacing the large sliding glass window that is on the 3rd floor. On the south side of the church, we're gonna keep that pretty much floor-to-ceiling windows, but we'll be replacing those windows to more efficient glass. There will also be a coat of fresh paint, and the trim around the windows and the gutters and things will all be freshly painted. The roof will be replaced as well. My dad is doing our roof for us. It's been really great having my dad here and having him be in charge of something that is so structurally important because he has a lot of experience in construction and has seen a lot of different job sites and been a part of a lot of different projects over the years. So he's happy to give us his opinion. And I've never really gotten to see him on the job, so it's been really fun for me.
Look at that beautiful roof you're gonna replace.
Yeah.
What if we wanted to keep that?
The observation deck.
You can keep it, but somebody got to do the maintenance. Every year or two.
Yeah. When we ask him for help and advice, he's a font of knowledge.
Yeah, he's a man of few words.
Mostly, you're crazy.
He does tell us that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on the 3rd floor. Let's see what's going on. The roof is coming off. You can start to see sunlight coming through.
See the end of that fascia?
Oh, yeah, it bends a little bit. Is that because the church is crooked?
Oh, building is crooked.
No.
Building got too old.
Yeah. It's called character, Dad. It's really good.
Right?
Well, while we're...
When you go up there, so you want to see the more problems.
Oh, great. You can point them out to me.
Okay, okay.
So why is it crooked like that, Dad?
The soffit is sagging down, the building itself.
Oh, yeah.
That's not even straight.
It's a little curvy.
The soffit gonna be right here to the wall. I don't think you can do right now. If you do right now, that probably gonna mess up.
Mess up the soffit?
Soffit.
Okay. All right.
So we'll see. I'll give him a 1 week. Gotta take care of it.
You want us to paint the house in a week? Have you talked to Angus about that?
We're going with a standing seam metal roof. And then the facade, the north side, we really wanted to bring it back just in terms of the look, the siding and the window shape like it was when it was first built in 1893.
How long do you think this roof will last?
I'd say about 100 years.
Awesome. Another 100 years. Perfect.
Fortunately for us, we're within striking distance of Philadelphia. We can go, there's a lot of different architectural salvage yards there. And we've been able to find a lot of things that will work for our project.
Hope they still have those windows.
There used to be this big 5.5-foot wide louvered arched window that was sort of the centerpiece of the facade.
So we're hoping to find like a half-moon window that will be a little bit more reminiscent of the window that was there many years ago.
Hello.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
The Chamber of Treasures.
Yes, sir.
Bob Beatty has become sort of our go-to guy for architectural salvage. We saw something on your social media that caught our eye. We're looking for a window.
Okay.
A stained glass window.
Right.
It has to have an arch, and we think that you have something that might be just right.
Oh, yeah, we have a couple that came out of a church from West Philadelphia,
Okay.
built in 1887.
About the right time.
Yeah. Let's see them. It's all about nostalgia for me. My grandmother had a half-moon arched window in her attic. We would go there for Christmas and other holidays, and I loved waking up with a light coming through that window, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to put that window on the 3rd floor. Oh, my.
Looks better in person.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
measure it. We've got a tight space to deal with. We have to be between 5.5 to 6 feet wide, and we've got at most maybe 38 inches tall?
30 3/4.
Well, so it's got to sit on top of those 2 casement windows on the 3rd floor. And then we have about, from the header above those windows, really only about 38, maybe 39 inches before the cornice on the outside. So I think if we drop the lower windows another inch or 2, then we can frame this so it'll fit in.
And is that going to be like allowed?
By code,
Yeah.
I'll let Andy figure that out. We knew that we needed a general contractor that really knew what they were doing and had experience working on old houses. From the very beginning, speaking with Andy, we felt really comfortable with him. I remember one thing he said was, our company's small, we're the guys holding the saws, we're on site. We really liked that.
You didn't want to save that one, right?
That was the one I wanted, actually, yeah.
It's just got character on the bottom now.
So today is a really big day. It's really exciting to be taking out the windows on the south side of the church. It's gonna look very similar when we put the new windows back in, just much more efficient. Taking those windows out is a really big deal. It's taking a lot of thought and teamwork because they're so big. When we took the first course of windows out on the bottom, you could feel the whole house start to shake, that whole south wall. That was actually very surprising. How much the
it
house
wobbles?
moved when you were pulling out that corner
I didn't
window.
expect it to wobble that much.
What are your concerns about this next step of taking out the
The glass
upper
breaking
windows?
as we take it
Falling
out
down
on,
your
on
heads?
our faces. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stand over
Yeah.
here. This is one of the first major steps in the renovation. We want to take the opportunity to put in more structural support. There's going to be larger beams that are going in between the windows. The support beams that are going in, you're going to have 4 beams that go all the way up to the header.
Correct. That way that span of that header doesn't ever go more than 4 feet.
Right. Cool. That was the engineer's brilliant solution to keeping the house from falling down.
Yes, that's the goal every day.
Yeah. One thing that we're changing is we're putting in divided light on the upper row of windows, which feels more appropriate as if it were from the 1890s. But Esther and I really wanted to feel like you were in the church when you're inside, but obviously have a functional family house. We were just driving by. It seems like a very analog way to find your home. And when we told that story to Lindsay, the daughter of Bernie and Ross, the former owners, she said she got goosebumps on it because she felt like the church had landed where it was supposed to be with the people who were supposed to be there. Bernie Felch and Rosamond DuPont bought the church in the early 60s and turned it into their house / art studio / library / entertainment space. So Lindsay's gonna stop over. She's told us all about what life used to be like at the church, but I'm really excited to see photographic evidence of the good times that they used to have there.
It was clear to us that they also used this space as a community space where people would come and they had great big parties that they were known for. And I think this was a place where people felt welcome.
I love this. This is the interior shot of the church, looking back at what's gonna be our bedroom and the choir loft.
Yep.
And we're gonna do windows like this again.
He really didn't want to change the structure of it too much and kept it in proportion with the actual old building.
When we're thinking about things like, are we gonna completely redo the ceiling or are we gonna change floors and stuff, I think, no, I wanted to be able to see that ceiling and think about the stories and the people that lived in this living organism and valued it.
I'm really happy that this transition has happened in the way it has, because I think that he would feel like his home of 50 plus years, our home, was being honored in such a way.
The arched stained glass window is really important, I think, in terms of going back to something close to what the church used to look like, but with a modern twist to it. I feel like I've developed a relationship with that window, stripping paint or fixing some of the really fiddly little cracks in the stained glass. It was clearly a thing of beauty. It needs to be brought back. It's gonna take an incredible amount of elbow grease. I have no idea how much paint is on there. A lot of the tools that were my dad's, just having those things in my hands and Working with them gives me the sense of connection with him. He wanted to have things that he could touch and say that I made that, I created that, and I totally get that. The back of the sawmill for the last few months has just been filled up with stuff that we've taken out, and now we're starting to put back in. It felt like it was its own architectural salvage yard for a while of just arched windows and doors and tin ceiling and flooring. Why would we go get new stuff to make it look like it was old when we already had old stuff we could use again? So things are looking great. I'm really happy. We've got electrical going in on the second floor. Almost all of the interior framing is done. So it kind of feels like maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves by thinking about the color of the tin ceiling, but we want to do that before we refinish the floors and drywall goes in and everything. So I think, yeah, we got to make a decision about exactly what we want to do with this thing.
Right.
One of the coolest things in the church was this pressed tin ceiling. I remember when we walked in, and as soon as you look up, no matter what side you come in from, it's so eye-catching. We wanted to keep it looking distressed, just clean it up, keep some of that patina. This sort of cream color, that's the color of most of the ceiling. And if we take this down a little bit just by cleaning it and scrubbing it with a sponge, we can choose our own adventure of how much patina we want on these main flat panels, right?
I mean, I like that a lot, but I like it there, and I don't know that it needs to be anywhere else.
You don't want to try to match that on all the flat panels.
No, I don't think so. Now, these bright white pieces were cut out of the part of the church back here over the stairs.
Yeah, everything that was on the second floor got painted this nice bright white. So if we want to keep any of the tin ceiling and the crown molding on the second floor, we have to try to color match it to what's on the rest of the ceiling in the main space.
As long as it looks natural. I don't want it to look too new, and I don't want it to look like we took something new and distressed it.
Yeah. This one, we scrubbed with mineral spirits and polyurethaned it. This one we did nothing to and polyurethaned it. And this one we just wiped down with water and then polyurethaned it. I can tell the difference, it's there. I kind of like just
water.
Just water and then poly on top of it.
Yeah. So today, my entire family is coming to town. My dad has been on the property a lot. He's obviously been here a lot as the roof has been going up, but this will be a fun time just to come and hang out and have a barbecue and enjoy the weather. So they get to see a little bit of the progress, and I think they're pretty excited about it.
It's definitely taking shape. You can tell where the kitchen's gonna be. You can see that the catwalk is gonna be here. The drywall's not up yet, but you can really begin to see the spaces are getting more defined.
Oh, it feels so good.
What do you think?
It's so wide open. I love it. The floors are gonna look so good.
Yeah. Island in the middle, the sink, the range, everything will be in the island, so we don't have to block any of the windows to put appliances. And then that right there is the coffee bar.
It's just gonna be like a big butcher block, or what are you gonna do here in the middle?
No, it's gonna be a big, we think soapstone.
Yeah.
Oh, countertop.
TBD.
TBD.
Totally, yeah.
There will also be like a wood portion. I feel like this is like the heart of things, and then it's really close to outside, so we can do barbecues and outdoor seating, and
indoor,
it'll be
outdoor. It's gonna be so good.
This pantry and the mudroom is that they're gonna get finished to look like sacristies again.
That's the plan. That's
the
the
idea.
hope.
Now,
So
tell me about the ceiling.
we're gonna leave
You
it.
want to leave like that?
He can't believe that we're gonna leave it and not paint it.
If you fake distress it, I think it looks fake distressed.
Yeah.
We really like it the way it is.
Are we still crazy?
I still don't get it.
I want the church to be a place where we can continue to have community come and gather there. I want to throw big parties for everyone to be able to attend. It's all right. Cody's got it.
We think we're about halfway through this crazy project, right? The reason we're doing it is so we can have events like this and have our family all come together and be together and share space and time and food. Let's eat, shall we? Is anybody hungry?
We made a template of the window when you were restoring it and refinishing it. Cut it out of plywood. That's how we framed that opening with that template.
Today's window day. The main window, the stained glass window on the 3rd floor, is going in. This room with the arched window, it's gonna take me back to my grandmother's attic. I think this is maybe becoming my favorite room in the house. We have nieces that are 9 and 11. When it's done and they're able to be sleeping on the 3rd floor, I can remember what it felt like to go to a special place with my family in a beautiful space, and I think that's what we're creating for them. I can't wait. This is very exciting.
It's gonna look great. You put a lot of hours into prepping that window.
Yeah, well, let's hope it fits.
A lot of hours.
Let's hope it fits.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately when it went into the hole, I couldn't believe how blue the glass was. I've spent so much time thinking about what this is going to look like, but until you see it in the natural light, I never really had a sense of just how beautiful it was going to be. From the exterior, you're going to drive by and think, that's an 1890s church, and then when you're inside, it just, I really don't have the words to describe how perfect it is, where it is.
I mean, you've looked at it for 25, 40 hours.
But I never really
like this.
saw it, and I didn't see it like this until it was in there and the lights coming through.
That's great.
Yeah. Can't wait till Esther gets home tonight and we come up here. I think she's going to be absolutely blown away. I want to be there and see her face when she sees the window for the first time. I think she likes it.
That looks so good.
More and more as we get into this, I'm thinking of this house as a living organism that's constantly evolving with all of its history. And that window, it's coming from another place that has its own history. It's gonna be this safe, cozy space that feels like home.
Look at your custom front door.
I love it, so nice. Let's just keep this door.
Yeah, what's the problem?
All right. We brought some tile in. We still have a bunch more outside that gets, what, 2 or 3 coats of sealant on there?
Exactly. We're on coat 4, but we'll keep going.
Bulletproof Teflon tiles, indestructible. The tile that's going to be on the floor in the foyer is this very porous Portland tile with an inlay of patterned tile that's going to go in this 4x4 square in the middle of the foyer. And then you open the doors and you go into the main sanctuary space, and it's the compression and then the release into this big, bright space. The colors of those tiles are going to reflect the colors of the walls that we're going to paint aubergine, which is like a dark eggplant with a little bit of red in there.
Gotcha.
Did you know what aubergine was?
I do now.
Okay, there you go. Let's do it.
We'll just lay it out roughly centering in this doorway.
Okay.
And we'll work it back towards where the inlay will go. It's an offset repeating pattern. You don't want too bold of a pattern because this inlay is a very bold pattern with a lot of vibrant color.
That's right.
You don't want to take over. That's going to be the star of this foyer as you enter the old church. So that's the rough idea of what the pattern will be.
Can't wait, it looks awesome.
It's going to be great.
So we're 6 months in. I really hope that we're more than halfway done with the project. I think probably 3 to 4 more months of work. The drywall's gonna go in soon, and then I think that's when a lot of different trades are gonna come in and things are gonna really start moving quickly. To the catwalk.
To the catwalk.
So Andy, I wanna talk about the catwalk railing. Obviously, we don't have one now. We talked about a lot of different options for what to do with this railing. We don't want anything opaque. We didn't want to have a half wall or anything here, right? So something that felt like it was church and 1890s appropriate.
We'll spread out the posts, the newel posts throughout this space, and then we have some stained frames that we'll build.
This one, it almost feels too much like a radiator cover to me. Also, it's really flexible, and I feel like I can just picture someone being up here leaning on it and just like putting their knee through it or something. So then the second option, it's a little bit more open, it's more porous. I think it'll let more light through. It still feels appropriate to the church and appropriate to the era. Sometimes I just come up here at the end of the day and sit on the edge of the catwalk and just sort of look around and imagine what life is going to be like in here. The other functional thing that it does is it lets you come from the second floor bedroom or the third floor and come down into the kitchen.
Quicker than coffee.
Yeah, right. And there she blows, there it is, the monster. This is a 12-foot wide, 700 750 pounds of galvanized steel. It's going between the dining room and the coffee bar. Esther really enjoys finding things for me to restore. I like it too, but she's the one that found that galvanized steel cabinet and just immediately knew this is gonna be in the church. It came out of a church that got torn down a long time ago. We think that it was probably made in the 30s in Philly, and it still has all the little labels on the drawers for kitchen utensils. And I think we're gonna keep those. I love it that it tells a story of what this thing was used for before, and it's going back into our kitchen. I originally thought we were gonna have to sandblast this whole thing, but I tried a little bit of just regular paint stripper, and I'm just gonna put a bunch of this on here, scrape it, and we'll see how it finishes. I'm incredibly happy with this whole project. Of course, I love the space and I love the building, but I've also really enjoyed the process for the last 6 months or so. But now pieces are locking into place and everything is starting to make sense. Let's go see the bathroom. I love it. I really like the green tile in the shower. This looks amazing, by the way.
Every tile is unique. Definitely was interesting to lay. They're all an irregular shape. None of them are a perfect rectangle, and they're all different thicknesses. And they all have different natural defects to make a new look old.
So how tricky were these windows to do? I love it that we have the original trim back on there. It's gonna get painted. It's gonna look exactly like it was original to the church.
And we saved the old trim for that Gothic part, and then new trim that we had custom milled to match the old. Just needs the painter to come and finish it up.
We needed to do justice to those Gothic windows. And I think all the warm wood is gonna give it that classic feel of a church from the 1890s, consistent and coherent with the other spaces in the rest of the building.
Absolutely.
We picked materials that don't look totally new. We also pick materials that we know are gonna age over time with the rest of the building. We want things that are gonna tell the story of our time in this building. It's beautiful. It's been 10 months of construction, but really it's been more like 2 years since we started thinking about how we wanted to do this thing. I can't even believe it. It's just unbelievable. We've been working with an architectural design firm on how we can use this massive space of the church and turn it into a more comfortable, livable space whilst respecting the building for what it is and still have the grandness and the scale of it. There are 22-foot ceilings, there's 20-foot windows, and you have these huge swaths of white blank space. And so we needed to think carefully about what to put on there for art to make it feel like more of a warm, less intimidating space. Val and her design team really understand our vision for the space, and they've helped us create a home, and I'm excited to see it all come together today. This looks amazing. What are we looking at here?
This is your central light fixture pendant that's going to fill the whole nave. We forged in the woods and wove this all together with brass wire.
Let's bring it in. I've come to learn that we have an eclectic design aesthetic. I want unique pieces. If we're talking about furniture or art, I like one-of-a-kind things.
Ta-da!
Cool. All right.
So, you know, a church by its very nature is so formal and symmetrical that I think something so random and natural and large really offsets the balance of a sanctuary.
It's the only
You
thing
know?
in here that isn't square and rigid.
Yeah.
I like it. I think because we have surrounded ourselves with people that are really competent, that are great at solving problems, I actually haven't been stressed out. I obsess about things, but I talk about them with people who really know what they're doing to figure out how to solve all these problems that come up invariably in a project like this. It's been pretty all-consuming.
But it's been fun.
Yeah.
I think this is the last light bulb.
I love it. I remembered the first time walking around outside of the church, it felt like the secret garden or something, that I was discovering this magical kingdom, this secret space. And now it feels like that still, but it feels like it's been refreshed and rejuvenated. I see people stop. There's a stop sign at the corner of Landenberg and Sawmill Roads, but people often stop in front of the church because they want to take a picture, they want to look at it, and it just feels like it's become again, I think, a center of the community and an important building.
This has been a really fun experience. We're mixing some of the old stuff with some of the new stuff. A lot of the pieces that we purchased were found at either a salvage yard that Angus then fixed up and painted, or found at an antique store. We're gonna be moving that all into place and make it feel like a warm space.
We're building our home together. It's brought us closer together. I cannot wait to show it to your family. I can't wait to move in. I can't wait to be there. It's everything that I hoped it would be and more.
Who wants the honors?
I'm so excited.
You ready?
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's aubergine.
Oh, okay, the tile. Can we talk about the tile?
Esther,
I love it.
Esther picked this tile, and Esther picked this color. The idea is that you're coming into this really tight, small, compressed space, and then you open the doors and release into the light.
Papa, come on.
See?
Come on. Ta-da! Whoa. Oh my gosh.
It's a little different.
What did you do here?
What did we do? We did a couple things.
Changed a few things.
I had a really hard time imagining how their vision was going to come together. We talked about it incessantly, but there's nothing like walking into the space. It's just breathtaking. I can't believe they pulled it off.
Are you happy? Are you crying?
I'm so happy.
Honestly, I think the coolest moment was just watching my parents take it in, because they, I think, have been a little worried. And, you know, as parents, you just want your kids to be happy and, like, invest all the time and effort in a house that really feels like home. And, like, watching their faces and their reactions to things is really, really precious for me.
You did some work on the ceiling, huh?
Just a little, yeah.
This one was original, right?
Yeah, that's the original ceiling, except for the fans. The fans are new.
Well, our original idea was that we wanted to keep it looking distressed, just clean it up, keep some of that patina, clear coat it, seal it. But after cleaning it up, it looked more banged up than we thought it was going to.
We thought about it for a while and decided that it probably would be better to paint it, but leave the center square panel the way it looked, because we still really loved that old look.
Oh, look, that from that old church?
Yeah.
Did you recognize that? It's almost unrecognizable.
Doesn't it look so good?
Are these the original labels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Kept it, huh?
That the church that this came from was not too different in age from this church, right?
Yeah, it's the 1890s.
1890s.
Standing here, I feel like I am in the museum.
Yeah.
I think I kind of joke maybe too much about worrying about what my mother-in-law or my father-in-law is gonna say, but it's because I really want them to approve, and I want this to be a space that they feel comfortable spending time with us in.
Welcome to the catwalk.
Wow.
Oh
my
my gosh. Are you joking? This is incredible.
Isn't this an awesome office space?
We wanted to do something that was gonna get you up into this huge space so that you're not just at the bottom looking up all the time. There's no place else in the house where you get to interact with the different textures of the ceiling so
It's
close.
even more gorgeous. Ooh.
We're standing in the old choir loft.
What a sight to wake up to. You can lean out and be like, Angus, get me some coffee.
That's right. All right, bathroom?
Yeah. You want to see the bathroom?
I think this is the coolest bathroom.
Oh, totally different looking.
Oh my gosh, this tile is breathtaking.
I really wanted to have a big bathroom. I love hanging out in the bathroom. I like reading in the bathtub. I've never had a big bathroom before, so I'm excited about it. The third floor is not completely done yet, but I can picture exactly what it's gonna be like and how we're gonna use it. The fun floor for kids to hang out in. That window was a particular labor of love. I didn't know how much work it was gonna go into it, but I spent a lot of time with that object. It's got a part of me that is now part of the church, so I've put my own blood, sweat, and tears into the building, and it's gonna be there forever. It just brings me back to being a kid in my grandmother's house, particularly at Christmas time, and waking up with a bed underneath a half-moon window and just feeling at home, feeling safe, feeling loved. And I hope that that's what all the kids in our family feel like when they spend time up there.
How do you like my kitchen?
Look at this.
Esther, this kitchen is amazing.
Isn't it so great? Just imagine Thanksgiving here. It's
Just
gonna be
imagine the
epic.
parties.
This is a party kitchen.
It is the most important part of the house. But also, I think it's generally where most people want to hang out. There's space for that, and it's wide enough all the way around the island. I also like that you can be here hanging out, but also interacting with the rest of the house. I'm just really excited to live in the church finally. My hope for our home is to always have it full of people.
Yeah, it's kind of like, upon this church, we'll build our family. And I hope that this building and this place is sort of a foundational stone for that growth to happen on.
All right, cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Salud. Salud. Right.
If you know where to look or you're paying attention enough, every room and every space in the house, there's at least one detail that tells the story that this used to be a church and that it was an art studio and it had a past life. I think every place that you go, there's a piece of the history of the building there. It's so much better than I thought. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it.
It feels restored. I feel like we have tuned it up a lot and given it back some of that structural integrity and gotten rid of some of that rotten wood and just brought it back to where
Where it should be.